Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. My name is Jade. So today I'm going to try something a little different. I have been watching a YouTuber and she has been selling some sourdough starter. So it's called Otis. It's from Whispering Willow Farm, and I believe she partnered up with another farmer called the Mindful Farmer or Mindful Farmer. So I have been watching her YouTube channel for some time, and I watch her make sourdough bread from using the sourdough starter, which this needs to be rehydrated. So she's selling it on her channel, and every time I see her make the sourdough, I'm just like inspired to try to make my own. Because, well, I don't personally eat a lot of bread, but John does eat a lot of bread, and he does like sourdough bread. So I thought, you know what, I really want to give this a shot and try it out and see how it turns out. And I've never made bread before, and so I've done a lot of research on the difference between using sourdough starter and using just a regular rapid rise yeast from the market. So there's like different pros and cons about it, and I have done so much research on it because, number one, I've never made bread before. Number two, I really just started dabbling in cooking. I mean, my goodness, I want to say truly since the pandemic hit. Since the pandemic hit, or once the initial pandemic started, yeah, I was in the kitchen all the time. I was learning how to cook new meals and new dishes and new stuff. And so I ended up getting to, I guess, enjoy it. I found it very enjoying to feed my family, and especially when I would make a new dish and I would put it in front of them and I would look at them and like, okay guys, so what do you think? And they said, yeah, this one's a really good one. You definitely had to put this in the recipe book. You know, that makes me feel good. So I'm excited to start this new adventure of making sourdough bread. And when I did look up the difference between the rapid rising yeast, or all the different yeast that you could buy from the market, and the sourdough starter, or the sourdough starter, the difference is the sourdough starter has living bacteria in it, and it's supposed to be really good for your gut. Now, yes, yeast, the fast rising yeast, does have cultures in it as well, but there's something about the yeast that doesn't have all these other benefits that the sourdough starter has, which there's so many articles online that you could read up on, and there's just so many different articles on fermented foods and what is good for your gut health. So I decided to start making bread, and by no means am I do I consider myself a homesteader. I still work. I don't work as much as I used to, but I do still work in the landscape business. And yeah, and my goal is to just, I guess, be a homesteader. I mean, now I'm thinking about it, my goal is to be able to stay home and run the farm as a little facility, like an event facility for weddings and little parties like that, and also have a little farm market. So that's kind of right up the alley of being a homesteader, which is kind of funny now that I talk about it out loud. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. So let me show you what I have. So right here I have my scale, and I've already measured out. Now she says to add in 60, okay, so in this packet right here, it has 10 grams of the starter. So she says to empty it into 60 grams of water and allow the mixture to set for 8 to 12 hours. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. so I already have, let's see, I already have 60 grams already measured out. So let's just go ahead and double check it. Okay, that's 58 grams. Let me just add a couple more. Now we have well water here, and it does not have a lot of, you can't really smell a lot of the minerals. All right. Okay. So that is 60 grams of water. And then it just says to, okay, here we go. Okay. So I guess we just mix this up and set for 8 to 12 hours. All right, and then so this is like a 3-day process. So this is for day 1. So after 8 to 12 hours, then we mix 40 grams of bread flour with water. Oh, into the water. Okay, so then after we get done with this process, then we're gonna add 40 grams of bread flour into this mixture. And then we'll allow it to sit for another 8 to 12 hours. And then tomorrow we'll feed it one more time. Okay, so that is that, and I am excited. I'm excited to see what I can make with this. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and set it in a warm place to make sure that I could keep an eye on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and set it over here by the top of the stove. And I'll see you in about 8 to 12 hours. Okay, so it's a little bit later in the day. It's about 9:30. Yeah, about 9:30. And I'm now doing the next step, which it says to mix 40 grams of flour into the water starter mix. So I already measured out the 40 grams, and I'm going to go ahead and put it into this starter. Okay. I don't know if it has to be exact amount. Okay, so now for the previous step. Okay, so now we let this sit for another 10 to 12 hours. So now in the morning, I'll go ahead and do the next step. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mix this thoroughly, and then I'll see you in the morning. All right, everybody, good morning. It is the next day, and we're ready to start day 2 of dry feeding the starter. So this is what the starter looks like. It doesn't really look like much. There's no bubbles or anything. So now it says to, without discarding any starter, add 40 grams of water and 60 grams of flour. So I already have everything measured out. So here's my flour and here's my water. So this is add, okay, here we go. There we go. I'm gonna add this flour. This is so exciting. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more, I guess, had more bubbles in it. But it didn't, so that's okay. Okay, mix this up. Okay, so now it says once the mixture, okay, no, I'm sorry, let's back up. So now mix together thoroughly and allow for 8 to 12 hours for the fermentation process. Okay, so let's mix this really good. I've been doing so much research on what I can make with sourdough, and I am so excited to start this journey of baking. It's so exciting. I make pies and things like that, but I would love to learn how to make my own bread. Okay, so that's pretty gooey. Okay, so let's just make sure I get all that to the bottom. Okay, so now it says once the mixture has doubled, discard 100 grams of starter, it's approximately half of the starter. Then feed what remains 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water and allow it to ferment. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and let this ferment for 8 to 12 hours, and then we're going to go from there, and then I'll show you the next step. So this is kind of a long process, but this is exciting. So I'll show you what this looks like once it doubles in size. All right, so stay tuned. Okay, so yesterday I started the day 2 dry feed, which was to add 40 grams of water and 60 grams of flour. So I did that, and then it said it was supposed to take between 8 to 12 hours to rise or to double in size. Well, it didn't. It literally, I started that process yesterday morning at 7:30, and it took all night in order for it to rise. So now here it is. I put a little rubber band to mark where I started at, and so this is how much it rose. So that's super exciting. Now we're still on the day 2, which it says once it's doubled in size to discard 100 grams of the starter, and then we're going to add in 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. So let's go ahead and now I wasn't sure if I was supposed to put a lid on this when I did it, and you are. Okay, so that's 4. But yeah, it did take a while for it to rise. And it's probably because our house is pretty cool. So I did have it on top of the stove, but regardless, it just took a little longer than usual. Okay, I think that's about 50 grams. Okay, I think I poured a little bit too much out, so let me put a little bit of this. It's looking good. It has a little bit of a scent to it. Doesn't smell bad or anything like that. Let's take a little bit more. I don't know how exact it needs to be, but I think I'm going to make 2 batches of this starter, just so that I have 2 batches in the refrigerator, because this is going to be so exciting. Okay, so now we have that ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in the, should have been showing you this the whole time. I'm going to go ahead and add in the flour and the water. So, oh wait, no. It says to discard 100 grams of starter, not 50. Whew. Okay, so 100 grams. It's close. 50% of the dough. Okay, 50% of the starter. So it's 80. I think this is it. dunked out a little bit too much, so let me put some back. It's this one. Okay, so that's exactly 100 grams in there. So now we're going to add in the flour and the water into this mixture. 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. And then we mix this up really good. Let's see what else it says. Okay, so then allow this to ferment for 8 to 12 hours, during which the starter should triple or quadruple in size. Ooh, that's exciting. I was so excited when I came out this morning and I saw that it doubled in size, because I thought I killed it. Because I was wondering, it wasn't turning, it wasn't changing. I was checking in on it and I thought maybe I did something wrong. Okay, so that's all mixed up. Looks pretty good. Just gonna head and scrape all this excess to the bottom. It's kind of a messy job. Okay, so that's that. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and put a lid on it. I'm gonna clean this off first. And then I'm going to put a lid on it and then put it back where I had it, which was on top of the stove. Okay, so that's done, and I cannot wait to show you what it looks like once it doubles in size. And then we're going to go to the third step. So hang in there. Okay, so it has been about 10 hours since I added the 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. So now it's time to do step 3, or I think it's the 3rd day feeding, because it took so long for the second feeding. So now we're going to go on to the day 3. It says day 3, feed again. So now it says to discard another 100 grams of the starter. And then at this point, you can actually divide it up into 2 and have 2 different starters. So that's cool. Probably give one away as a gift to someone. So then it says here, now after we discard, we're going to feed in another 50 grams of water and 50 grams of flour. So let's go ahead. Let me show you what it looks like. So I added the rubber band right there, and this is how much that it has risen. So that is so awesome. It smells good. So that's what it looks like. Look at that. That is so cool. Oh my God. I literally thought I killed it yesterday because it didn't rise up at all. But today was a little bit warmer, so I think that's why it rose up so much. That's awesome. Okay, so now let me show you what it looks like. Go. So this is where, oh, whoopsie daisy. This is where I'm going to keep my discard. So it says 100 grams. Okay, so let's see. So I don't know if that's what it's supposed to look like. 30, 43. Oh my God, this is going to be so awesome. I cannot wait to make bread. I'm so looking forward to it. I can't wait to show you what the first bread is going to look like. I hope it looks good. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay, oh, shoot, a little bit too much. Okay, so let me, man. All right, let me grab a spoon. Let's see here. Alright, so let me take out a little bit. 98, 99. I think this should do it. I think that's it. There we go. Okay. Put the rest in here. Oopsie daisy. Oh shoot. This is such a hot mess. Okay. So now I already have it all measured out. So now, okay. So I'm just going to set that there. We're going to move this out of the way. I'll take my spatula. And from what I have been reading, after you get done using this dough, you should be cleaning all your implements because it's very glue-like when it dries. Holy schmoly. Okay. There we go. Okay, now for the 50 grams of water. And now to stir it up. So I'm going to scrape it off the sides just to kind of clean the jar up a little bit. Okay. All right, so I got that mixed in really good. And now it says to sit and wait for 4 to 6 hours. And I feel that, I think now we could, once we let it rise up a little bit, if I want to start making bread, I think I can. So this is gonna be awesome. So I think tomorrow, I think I'm gonna try my first batch of bread. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be so exciting. Okay, so there you have it. Some sourdough starters. So now I'm gonna show you before I bake the bread. I'm probably gonna bake bread tomorrow. So I'll see what it looks like tomorrow, and then I'll probably start it in the morning, and I'll get a couple recipes and see what we get out of that. So we'll stay tuned for tomorrow where we bake some bread. Okay everybody, it is time to make bread. So I have been waiting, I feel like forever, for this sourdough starter. Now, I've made quite a bit because I kept feeding it and feeding it. And obviously I did not listen to the rules. That's why I ended up with so much. But I'm hoping that maybe I could give some away, or, you know, to whoever might want some sourdough starter. So, we're gonna attempt to make our first loaf of bread, and I'm following a recipe from some gal that I just saw on YouTube, and I'll see if I can find her channel, and I'll put that in the link and in the description. And so it looks pretty easy. It doesn't ask for any kind of measurements. It just asks for 1 cup of starter. Let's see, she used about 8 cups of flour, and I got some of this bread flour right here. 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of salt, which I'm going to use salted butter, so I'm not going to use that much salt. 2.5 cups of water, 1/2 cup of butter, and I think that's pretty much it. And I'm going to use my KitchenAid mixer to make this dough with the dough hook. So this is the first time ever doing this, so let's see how it turns out. Now I'm going to make the dough and get it all ready, and then leave it inside. You could leave it inside the little KitchenAid bowl, and then put a damp tea cloth over the top of it. Leave it overnight, and then in the morning time I'm going to divide it up, and I'm going to put it into 2 bread loaves, or I guess baking You know what I'm talking about, the little baking things that you can make bread. So I'm going to do that and go from there. So everything that I have read and everything that I have been watching and everything I have been, doing my research on says that how to know when to make bread or when your sourdough starter is ready is that you take some of it and you plop it into the water, and if it floats, then it's good to go. So let me show you what it looks like. So here's the sourdough starter. I'm just using this little measuring cup, and then you take it. Now the first time I did this, it just sank right to the bottom. So then you take it and this, oh see, it floated. So there you go, it's floating. So now let's see if this is gonna make some sourdough. All right, over here I have the mixer. I don't know if you could see that. See that? There we go. Okay, let me rinse off the spoon. All right, so let's make some sourdough. Okay, so it has been 10 minutes, and so what she says to do is to take it. Now, let me bring you a little closer. Okay, there. Can you see that better? Okay. Oh, here, I'm getting used to this baking business. And then you're supposed to be able to spread it apart, and if it rips, it's not quite ready. And this one still feels a little sticky. I don't know. Let me see. Should I put another cup of flour? Feels pretty good. Alright, I'm just going to take it out and see. I've never done this before, but from what, oh my goodness. How do you take this thing off? There, okay. Alright, so that's what it looks like. So now, I think I'm going to scrape this off. Oh, let me go get my apron. Okay, so, let's see. If it doesn't stick to anything, then I don't think I'm going to need another thing of flour. But let me grab some flour just so that way it doesn't stick onto this cutting board. Okay, so now they say to knead it supposed to, there we go, fold it into, it feels pretty good. Oh, this is kind of cool. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, until the underside is supposed to be nice, but I'm going to break this one up, but it feels pretty good. I don't think I need to do this anymore. I'm just going to put it inside. I don't even think I need any more flour. So I used 6 cups of flour. Oh, that feels so good. Okay, this is so satisfying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this, this is so exciting, back into the bowl. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour inside just so it doesn't stick. Okay. And then I'm going to put this in right here in the bowl, just like that. And now this is going to rise overnight. And then in the morning, so then they say to put a wet tea towel. Okay, so I have my wet tea towel. And make sure it's wrung out really good. Okay, so now I have my wet tea towel, and I'm just going to go ahead and set the towel over the top. I don't know if I'm supposed to push it down. I think I'm just going to leave it like this because it's supposed to rise. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put it back onto the mixer, and in the morning time I'm going to check it, and we'll see what we get. And then I'm going to divide it up and put it into the little bread loaves. What are they called? Those little things that make the bread. Bread pies? Tin? I don't know. You know, the glass dish to put the bread. Alright, so tomorrow morning we're going to do the rest of this process. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a good night. Okay guys, it is the next morning. It is about 7 o'clock, about 7:30 or so, and so this is what it looks like. Look at that! How exciting! Alright, so now it says to take it out, and then we're supposed to divide it up. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let me go get a scraper. Oh, here we go. Okay, let me get a little flour. Sprinkle a little flour down here. Okay. So now I guess we just, this is to fold it a little bit. Okay. Take a nice little flat round ball and then cut it in half. So this recipe makes 2 loaves. And then I have my loaf pan. Oh, it says to roll it out. Like that. And then put it into the bread pan. Now I don't know if I should put any oil in this one, but this one, I have another one that's non-stick, so I'm not going to put anything in it. Okay, roll this up. Just like that, and then put it into the loaf. And then we're supposed to let these two rise. And then once they have risen one more time, then we put a little egg yolk wash on it. And then we set it into the oven for 375 degrees. And then let's see if we're gonna get some bread. So this is so exciting. All right, so I'll wait for this to rise and then we'll come back and we'll put it in the oven. Okay, so the bread has finally risen. Let me show you what it looks like. Look at that. I am so excited. I am just so thrilled. So now I have an egg yolk like there, and I'm going to put a little bit of water. And this I'm going to brush over the top, and it'll give it, it's supposed to give it a nice kind of a warm, I guess a brown look. So we'll see. All right. This is so exciting. I cannot wait to try this. I hope it tastes good. So I think this is called an egg wash. I'm not sure. But this is so exciting. Can't wait to see what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, so I feel like you did a pretty good job with that. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put them in the oven. Oh, that looks good. I feel like I need to move that top rack to get a little higher. There you go. Okay, so now it bakes for 45 minutes. All right, the bread is done. So, look at that. Now, what the gal on the video said is that if you tap it like that, then it's supposed to be done. I hope I didn't overcook it. Now, we have a convection oven, so I think it cooks things a lot faster. So we're gonna go ahead and pop one of these out. I think I'm gonna pop them both out so they can cool. And we're gonna cut into one and see what it looks like and what it tastes like. All right, so let's move this one out of the way. Okay, let's start. We're just gonna oh, oh my goodness. Okay. Look how good that looks. Oh my gosh. All right. I am so proud of myself. Now let's go in. Can you see? I hope you can see how good this looks. It smells so good, you guys. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Okay. I think it looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's super hot right now because I can't wait. You don't know. I've been waiting a long time. Okay, I don't even know how to cut this, so I'm just going to cut it in half. Okay. It's so hot right now. Okay, so let's try a little bit of the crust. I'm not a big crust person. John likes the crust. I usually eat the inside and he eats the crust. So let's try this. Oh my God, I made bread. Wow, I never thought I was gonna make bread. It's delicious. Wow. It has really good flavor. Oh my god. It's so good. That was so easy. I'm gonna start making bread for my family now. Guys, I was not raised with a mother. My mom has been out of my life since I was 5 years old. I was raised by a dad that worked extremely hard. Blue collar worker, doesn't speak English that well, and you know, worked really hard. So for me to know how to plant food and to raise meat and to make bread, it's like such a shocker for me, because I never thought that I would ever learn how to do this, because I was literally always working all the time. And until John and I purchased this landscape business, this landscape business gave me the opportunity to learn how to garden. I've always raised the meat ever since I've moved out here. I know John and I are from a blended family. And so, so this, making bread, is just like, I mean, that's crazy. And yeah, you can definitely go and get the yeast from the store and buy it. And you know, I watched all these people talk about how they can go and get these different, you know, things and make it at home. But to actually start with the sourdough starter, to rehydrate it, to know that it has good living bacteria that's going to be good for your gut, to know that this is not made with sugar, this is made with honey. It tastes so good. You can't even taste the honey in it. It's so moist, and it's just so moist. It just tastes so delicious. So I am so proud of myself for accomplishing this goal, to learn how to make bread, healthy bread from sourdough starter, and know how to do this. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry for getting so emotional. I'm not a real emotional person, but my God, talk about food and making things, and yeah, this is an exciting journey. So I cannot wait to show you when I make one of those round sourdoughs with all the little decorations. I can't wait to show you how that's gonna look. So today I'm going to start on some pie crust, because I'm going to make an apple pie and a shepherd's pie for dinner. And then I'm going to go work out in the garden. So thank you for watching. And I'm probably going to take you on a tour in just a little bit, because the ginger is blooming. But today I'm going to go outside and work on the garden, and that's probably a different vlog. So take care, be safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.